The Batman 2021 is just getting more and more interesting, guys, because as you know, recently we've had Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, or maybe it's Lieutenant Gordon, considering this Batman movie is taking place in the formative years of Robert Pattinson's Batman. We've got Jonah Hill deciding between the Riddler and Penguin, but now, as you may have already heard, we have got our Catwoman with Zoe Kravitz. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, but what's my first reaction to this? It is that I'm actually really happy. I feel like I can really vibe her in the Catwoman role. I mean, you guys probably know what I mean. There's some of you probably out there who are just saying, Boba, what are you on about? I actually hate this casting, whatever. It should have been this character, which we'll get to the other, actors in the running for this role, which, I have to admit, I'm tempted by one of them very much so, especially after hearing it after Zoe being initially cast. But I think from what I've seen her in, I know she hasn't been complete front and center before. I can really feel her transitioning into this role really nicely. I think it's just got to complement the movie with the actress who's been chosen for this role being Zoe, and she really does look like a Selina Kyle. It's going to be interesting to see if they go with really short hair for her or longer hair, because I feel like she can pull it off both ways in terms of Selina. But according to Variety, they say in recent weeks the role came down to Kravitz, Zazie Beetz, and Isa Gonzalez, and ultimately Kravitz won out, despite some worry about scheduling issues with Fantastic Beasts. So at first I was like, Zoe, wow, you look the part. I'm actually really happy with this. I can envision it perfectly, and I'll go more specifically into that in a second. But when I heard about Zazie Beetz, I was like, oh, do I slightly feel like maybe they should have gone with her? Ultimately, I'm still very happy with Zoe playing the role of Catwoman alongside Robert Pattinson's Batman, but I really do think Zazie Beetz would have been pretty good as well. I know obviously she's just been in Joker and she's been in Deadpool, and she's I would say she's had more of a slightly prominent career, at least in my opinion, than what Zoe has, but then again, that's kind of debatable. But it's going to be really interesting to see what you think. I mean, I know there was even more actresses being considered for the role, but I want to ask you guys, who would you have preferred? Was it Zazie Beetz, or are you actually happy that they went with Zoe? I think that this could do very well for Zoe, and I think she will do very well in the role. This is what I mean. I can really envision her going alongside Robert Pattinson in this movie. Yet again, we kind of need to consider how prominent her role will be in this movie. Since Matt Reeves intends this to be a trilogy, there's plenty more time to kind of flesh out the kind of initial relationship we might see in this movie where, since this is told in the formative years of Robert Pattinson's Batman, it's not quite year one, but it's kind of still a newbie-esque Batman where Gotham is looking at this guy like, wait, is he even real? Has he even proven himself? Rather than looking at him like, oh wow, yeah, we've got a badass Dark Knight who every criminal fears. It's very much so in the infancy of that. So naturally, I think we're going to see the kind of flirtatious yet angsty relationship between Bruce and Selina Kyle, which as I keep saying, I can really feel. It could just be my imagination, but I can really see Zoe playing that with Robert Pattinson's Batman. Which, of course, has been a thing in the comics many a time. Like, Selina's not exactly the most sentimental person straight away with Bruce, and obviously very anti-hero-esque, so she's not going to be playing by the rules. But I can imagine Robert Pattinson's Batman and her kind of enjoying each other's company, regardless of if Batman is seeing her as getting in his way with whatever she is doing. But, at the same time, as I mentioned, we've got the whole of the Rogues Gallery. We've got Jonah Hill, as of, I think, right now, still deciding between Riddler and Penguin. I think he's got to ultimately land with Riddler, but I still low-key want it to be Penguin. I know some people are of the opinion that, oh yeah, but he's not very overweight, anymore, or anything like that, and that's kind of required for. I disagree with that. I think he could still play a very good Penguin with the shape he's in now. That's not an absolute deciding factor. Different iterations as of recently have portrayed the Penguin to not be the kind of cliche Penguin from the comics, who is very round, very short, very stubby, very crooked. They could still apply a lot of makeup that gives him like a very kind of skewed, pointed looking face. But then again, guys, there's other characters. So Penguin aside, we've got Riddler, we've got like Mad Hatter, we've got Harvey Dent, we've got Firefly, we've got a lot of other people. So it's going to be interesting to see, with the whole overarching storyline, how Catwoman's going to kind of weave in. But either way, I am very buzzing for this movie. I know that may be too premature to say, but it's very exciting to me to now just see the face of an actress who's playing Catwoman. alongside obviously knowing who we have got in line already, being Robert Pattinson, now Jonah Hill, we know is going to be playing a certain role, and that's quite interesting actually within itself. Ever since that news has come out, I've seen some people be very excited about obviously the Oscar nominee Jonah Hill being involved to play a villain, but then some people were saying that he can't act at all, which actually surprises me because I personally think he is quite a good actor, and whether that's from the various films he's done or whether it's most recently with Maniac, I thought he did a really good job in that. I think he has quite a bit of range than people thinking, oh, he's just good for funny films, but this isn't really what the video is about. We're on about Catwoman. So let me know what you think, guys, down in the comments below. Do you think, or would you have rathered with one of the other actresses being Zazie Beetz, or whether that's Isa Gonzalez? But also I forgot to mention Alicia Vikander, which, you know, as I said, like, that's all good, but like, I'm still happy with this. I'm still happy with this, but I am still kind of thinking, but Zazie Beetz though, what would she have been like next to Robert Pattinson? On top of letting me know how you think she would do in the movie, and if you think she's right for the role, how do you think they're going to use Catwoman in this film, alongside obviously the other Rogues Gallery members, being Riddler, Mad Hatter, Firefly, Penguin, Harvey? I think all I can say ultimately is that times are very, very exciting ahead. We're going to hear more and more castings, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to get update videos just like this on anything to do with the Batman 2021. Of course, I will be trying to keep you up to date with absolutely anything that comes out with it, whether it's in a small video or a big kind of mashup video. This is the place for that. And one last final thing to you guys who are still here as well, I would love to know your fan castings. Like, who would you want to play Harvey Dent or the Riddler? Like, I still want Jonah Hill to be the Penguin, because I think David Tennant, even though this probably isn't going to happen, I think he would engulf the Riddler so goddamn well. Like, yeah, fan castings please down in the comments below, since this is casting season. We've got a couple already. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you, Bat family, in the next video. Goodbye.